We're on the first mile headed north of the Mid-Atlantic backcountry discovery route here in Trailtown, USA, Damascus, Virginia. Little town home of a section of the Appalachian Trail and the start of the Mid-Atlantic BDR and the ending of South East BDR. It was only this past spring, a couple months ago, that I left from here, headed south for, I want to say 6 or 7 days, all the way through North Carolina and Tennessee, hopping back and forth, down through Georgia, all the way down to Florida. That was one of my favorite overlanding routes that I've done thus far here on the East Coast. Last year at this time, being October, did the North East BDR, going all over the northern states of the East Coast, starting at the Pennsylvania-New York state line, going all the way up to the Canadian border through Maine, ending in New Hampshire. That was one of the most beautiful routes I've ever done, with all of the fall colors. And so that's what I am going for this time. With it being October 6th, I'm already seeing some fall colors down here in the lower elevations of the Appalachian Mountains, down here at the southwesternmost point of Virginia. But this route will mark the completion of the East Coast BDR Trilogy for me. They recently, this past spring, announced the final chapter of that trilogy being the Southeast BDR, and I hopped on it within a week of it being introduced. I was one of the first people on the trail. I can confirm that by the number of trees I had to clear off the road, all the deadfall. The truck's in good shape for this trip. Just got brand new OEM CV axles. Likewise, the lower control arms needed to be swapped out. So now we're rolling on Dirt King lower control arms. Ride quality is way better. Swapped out upper control arm ball joints. Truck is feeling like it's in really good shape, handling really well. Anyways, really excited to spend a week up here in the mountains, seeing if I can't find some good fall colors. cutting through Jefferson National Forest. Finally getting some good dirt under the tires. Lots of farmland. Smell of cows out in the distance. Rural properties way out here. As you can tell, I ended up driving into the night a little bit, but we got to camp, a camp, definitely not the camp I was looking for the first night, but up on the top of a mountain, sort of, small mountain. I was really hoping there was gonna be a nice campsite up here, but there's not. It's just this little nook off the side of the road. No fire ring, so there's not going to be any of that tonight. But there is cell service, so get to plan out more of my route. Get a better idea of what tomorrow is going to look like, which I am definitely more excited about than I am this campsite. Tomorrow's campsite should be, if I make it as far as I think I'll make it, tomorrow's campsite should be pretty sweet. So, looking forward to that. Hopefully get there with enough time to make a campfire and have a proper camp on the Mid-Atlantic BDR.
All hazards, WXL60, broadcasting from the National Weather Service Office in Blacksburg, Virginia. Here are the 7 a.m. observations from around the area. In Roanoke, skies were cloudy. The temperature was 63 degrees. Forecast summary, high pressure shifts offshore today while a cold front approaches from the west. Showers and thunderstorms will begin this afternoon in the mountains and spread southeast tonight into Wednesday. Noticeably cooler temperatures are expected Thursday through the weekend. Now for the National Weather Service forecast for the Roanoke
Good morning. First full day on the Mid-Atlantic BDR. Got up just before first light, started driving down the mountain from where I was camped. I'm on a decent amount of pavement miles now. Kind of rolling through some of the mountain valleys, hopping over a few small hills, ridges. Should be getting into the national forest here pretty soon. Pretty excited for tonight's camp. Should be a nice one, like I was talking about yesterday. Trying to get to an area 200 miles ahead of where I camped last night. I've camped there before, marked all the campsites in that area. Lots to choose from, a couple really nice ones, but we'll see how nice it ends up being, because it's supposed to start raining. That's going to be interesting. This afternoon, this evening, most of the day tomorrow, supposed to be rain and thunderstorms up in Pennsylvania, where I'm trying to get to. The predicted lows for like Friday and Saturday are actually below freezing, but that's why it's an adventure. Just entered Potts Creek Wildlife Management Area, Jefferson National Forest, and the state of West Virginia. I'm gonna bounce back and forth between West Virginia and Virginia a couple times today. Should predominantly be West Virginia tomorrow though. This is the first bit of West Virginia and the first bit of sunlight breaking through the clouds.
Somewhere far away, I wanna go where they don't know my name. Get out of town, 'cause I can't take no more. This old town's got nothing left for me. All I've got are these broken memories. This new road, I've finally broken free. I'm getting restless, waiting for my day.
This is the entrance to a trail that I'd been wanting to do for a while, Potts Jeep Trail. Unfortunately, I'm here by myself, and it's not something I'd be willing to take on alone, but I don't know at what point it gets technical, but from what I've seen, it's pretty intense.
My name is Colin, you're watching Bug Out Overland, and this?
Homie, I made it up.
is Potts Mountain Jeep Trail.
Not today. Through the town of Covington. Not sure if I'm in Virginia or West Virginia right now. I've just been skirting the state line. Just past 100 miles for the day. About 200 miles from Damascus. Back into the National Forest we go. Should have about another 100 miles to go before reaching the campsites I'm planning on staying at tonight in the George Washington National Forest. Speaking of which, is the National Forest that I've just entered. There is a decent amount of rain both to my north and south, so looks like I'm gonna be setting camp up in the rain. All right. Right at sunset. And it is pretty wet outside. I'm looking forward to crawling up there and hunkering down. Yeah. 100 miles yesterday, 200 miles today, 300 miles in. Total from Damascus now, and doing like 160, 170 miles tomorrow. Camping in Maryland. And make our way up into Pennsylvania. Final state. One of the things I'm excited for Pennsylvania is, I believe, unless I missed something on the map, all of the harder alternate routes for the BDR in Pennsylvania. I was planning on cooking, but I'm not about to cook in the rain, so looks like it's gonna be a sandwich. It's gonna be a sandwich in bed. Yeah. Anyways, good night. Good morning. A little bit of early morning driving to hopefully give me a little bit more time this evening at camp up in the Green Ridge State Forest of Maryland. Gonna be getting to some pavement here in just a little bit. Cut west over to Seneca Rocks. BDR doesn't actually go by Seneca Rocks, but there's a back road that kind of comes up to the east side of it that I'm going to take, get a little bit of a look at it. cold front has arrived. Ran up to get a look at Seneca Rocks from the backside. Little detour off of the BDR. You could definitely take a bit of a side trip to Seneca Rocks, check it out, but it's not on the BDR itself. But it'd be a short, like no longer than half-hour drive both ways, and then however long you spend checking it out. But they got trails going all around it, and if you climb, some good trad climbing over there. But back on the BDR now, should be mostly pavement all the way to the crossing of the Potomac River, and then into Green Ridge State Forest in Maryland. Across the Potomac. That is what you would call a rickety bridge. $2?
$1.50. Didn't go up quite yet. 16th, I think it was. It was up to $2.
That's $1.50.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just crossed over the rickety old bridge from West Virginia to Maryland. Second to last state on this route. Headed for Green Ridge State Forest. Get camp set up. Well, this looks like a good place as any. Nice open view of the sky. It's actually, the ground isn't level at all, but the truck is actually leveled out pretty dang good. It's getting chilly, but tonight's supposed to be like the first cold night of the cold front, so we'll see. Maybe it'll actually get down into the 30s like they said it would. Tomorrow we have Harper's Ferry. Might do a little bit of fishing. Been carrying a fishing rod with me. And Maryland's the only state that I have a license in, so hopefully cast around for a little bit there in the Potomac. Then head up north to Tuscarora. It's going to be a lot of pavement miles tomorrow. Just looking at the map, it's like kind of a dead zone between here and Tuscarora, Pennsylvania. Not much public land in between here and there. These dogs need some mayonnaise, but after tomorrow, the trail should get pretty fun. I'm just going to say a handful. There's a handful of harder alternate routes north of where I'm planning on camping tomorrow, and usually those can be a bit of fun.
To the river we go. Leave our worries on the shore and drift away. On the river we know. Sometimes the perfect words are never said. To the river we go. Leave our worries on the shore and drift away.
All right, the sun is up on the 4th day back in West Virginia, paralleling the Potomac River on our way to Harper's Ferry, where we'll cross back into Maryland, shoot north into Pennsylvania. I've got 266 miles between campsites. I should elaborate. There are places to camp in that stretch, but the way I like to do it, and the way I've always done it, I'm going to use dispersed camping. It's free, it's private. Usually all you get is a fire ring that someone's pieced together with rocks. That's the way I like to do it, but just like the South East BDR. There's a large area of land that does not have public land in it. For the South East BDR was most of Alabama. And for this route, it is Maryland and southern Pennsylvania. So I've got 266 miles between my last camp in Green Ridge State Forest, Maryland, and the State Forest in Pennsylvania, the next prospective campsite that I've marked down. Based off of the map, and from what I've already seen this morning, the majority of that 266 miles is all pavement, highways and county roads. So while I do get to travel a bit faster, it's not really what I'm here for. But pretty morning. It was in the mid-30s. I was sleeping pretty comfortably until I had to get up, and then I was a little cold. I'll start off by saying I'm not a big fan of overregulated public land. I'll pick a wilderness area or a national forest over a national park most days. Harper's Ferry was a very pretty little town with numerous historical sites that all seemed to be pretty interesting. I went there with 3 goals in mind: film some of the town, fish for a bit at the river, and make a short hike to an outlook that oversees the entire area for a time lapse. After a lot of driving in circles, I found that I couldn't do any of those things. All right, let's talk about Harper's Ferry. It looked really pretty, but I just found that at every turn that I tried to do something I'd planned to do, it wasn't possible. It was too overly regulated. It's like I was going to see a museum. Like, you have to walk through, right? You can't just like go to a museum to see a specific exhibit in the very back and like leave. You gotta walk through the whole thing to get there. It's like that. So lots of interesting, if you're big into history and stuff, like especially like state history in Maryland, like in West Virginia for that matter, because most of it's actually in West Virginia, but know that you need to plan a day, or at the least a half a day, and be prepared to do some walking, because there's going to be a lot of that. There's 2 routes on the BDR, on this BDR for this. One kind of branches parallel to the Pennsylvania state line and then cuts north. And then this one dips down going south to Harper's Ferry and then cuts up north and meets up. They meet back up and form the single BDR route. With that information, if spending a half a day or more walking through town, seeing the tourist sites isn't your thing, then definitely take the alternate. All right, I'll stop off of my my rant there as we head north towards Pennsylvania, the last state of the Mid-Atlantic backcountry discovery route.
childlike wonder. Without you, I will
266 miles behind us now. Coming up on what is supposed to be camp for tonight. Past an actually surprising amount of dispersed camping spots up here in these state forests. Seems like almost every one of these long mountains is under a state forest. And then you've got farmlands in the valleys below. So we're coming up here. A nice little gravel driveway. All right. Well, this is luxurious, and there's wood. A little fire pit, a picnic table. Not bad. No views, but all right. Whew, what a haul. Man. Usually 200 miles is a bit of a challenge most days on trails like this. Especially with filming and whatnot. I gotta end up taking a lot of backtracks, turnarounds, extra time filming. 266 is too much. All right, I think I'll get out and see what's up. I think tonight's gonna be a brats on the fire kind of night. There you go. All right. Glad I made it through today. It was fun, just long. A lot of miles, a lot of county roads. Got really pretty there towards the end though. Started getting up into some higher mountains than what we saw kind of at the Pennsylvania-Maryland state line. Just kind of just a lot of hills, a lot of flat land, a lot of rural neighborhoods. And then after about 3 o'clock this afternoon, got into some prettier country. More pines, creeks, taller mountains, long mountains. Mountains in Pennsylvania are kind of weird. Long, stretched out veins stretching across the state. I've consulted the map for tomorrow. It's exciting, but it's also looking a little rough. 244 miles to the next dispersed camping location I have marked out. Yeah, there's 6 harder alternate routes tomorrow. That's pretty exciting. Sometimes they're just rougher roads, Sometimes they're washed out roads, sometimes they're bog holes. So, but it's gonna be interesting. Trail should get a little rougher, maybe a little muddier. I like it. It's gonna be a cold night. Low 30s probably, if not a freeze. Get up in bed here pretty soon. Fire's out. Those logs were still too damp from the rain 2 days ago. So, yep.
Out on his own, he chose to wander this world all alone. He said, heaven can't help me, I'm so far away from where they found me on that day. On and on he goes into the night, singing wage a war with demons in his mind, and he goes on.
We are live on the last full day of the Mid-Atlantic backcountry discovery route. Beautiful morning. I've got 33 on the dash right now. I think it was like 35 when I woke up. Kind of in a lower spot, but lots of frost on the fields this morning. Looking at the map here, we got a few state forest miles before hitting the first harder alternate. All of them kind of crammed back to back up here in central Pennsylvania. Nothing too difficult. hit a, I guess the difficult section. Only consisted of about a sixth of the alternate. Just a bit of unmaintained rocky road. Nothing crazy. No specific lines that I had to take. The BDRs are made for, or at least routed for adventure motorcycles. And I can imagine going through that section on a motorcycle would be fairly difficult. A lot of larger rocks coming out of the ground. So yeah, on to the next harder alternate. Well, that one was pretty fun. Lots of water standing. Lots of water. All hard bottom stuff, so nothing real slippery. Just a lot of rutted out road with standing water. Now, if you're doing this on a motorcycle, I would say, if I remember correctly, all of the deeper sections had motorcycle bypass routes. Let's see what I got coming up. There's two more harder alternates coming up. I'm gonna hit them before I hit the next town. This one is quite interesting. I actually missed it when I tried to find it, because it almost doesn't exist. Definitely not very well traveled. The Tacoma barely fits. I'm almost tempted to say it's a four-wheeler trail. Definitely feel like I'm deep in the woods. That is it for the harder alternate routes. All 6 or 7 of them. Now all that's left is to go get some gas and head for camp. It's 4:30 and I've gone 169 miles out of the 244. Pretty much all of those harder alternates minus 1 was actually like really slow going. Not really technical, but just really rough. And then there's the one that's obviously got a lot of water on it. Hit camp tonight, wake up, finish this thing off in the morning. Man, beautiful sunrise over Pine Creek. What a gorgeous sunrise for the last day. Not many miles between here and New York state line. It's feeling like a long journey at this point. Monday seems so long ago, and Damascus feels so far away. So like I mentioned at the beginning of this trip, this route is the last piece in the East Coast BDR trilogy for me. Just thinking about all three of these routes now, to do them consecutively, starting from either side, that would be something special. From the Gulf Coast in Florida all the way up to the Canadian border in New Hampshire. Do the whole thing